Alex Paris-Ford-Smith.
I'm hairy everywhere else except...
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts. But he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Donay's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague Lodge fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There's been a couple other days I really didn't feel quite like that. Did we bring up? I don't even remember bringing up the idea of St. Patrick's Day yesterday on halftime. Because who would want to worry about that on a Monday? It's like having a national football championship or a national basketball championship on a Monday night. Who would do that? Well, they did it anyway. Feeling good today, Matt Jones? Good morning.
You know, the Irishman, Roy McIlroy, wins his second TPC on St. Patty's Day yesterday. So I'm sure they were celebrating and having a good. He said he's going to do one more tournament before Augusta. That's the only major he hasn't won yet, but. Yeah, man, life's good. Super Tuesday. Y'all got baseball today. The basketball team made the dance. I mean, what's not to like about this week?
It's a good way to put it. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe sometime this week there'll be a hire for women's basketball. That's another thing. Arkansas was looking for a coach by this time last year for men's basketball. Now they're looking for a coach for women's basketball. Cal got them in the tournament. Didn't look like they would get there after an 0-5 start. Maybe women's hoops will get back in the tournament next year.
The girl in purple. That's right. Is she the one that's going to? Every time I'm seeing anything in the timeline, I don't know her name, but she always wears a purple suit. She's always got purple on.
Is Molly Miller is her name?
Is she
Grand Canyon's coach?
Yeah.
No, from what I read, just said she's not the leading candidate.
Oh, fair enough.
But what does that mean? Who turned who down in that case? I don't know. I know Mizzou's got an opening, and she's from Springfield. So, but yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that a little bit too. Because that's where we were last year, out of the tournament, out of any of the tournaments, and wondering who the coach is going to be. Like the equivalent of getting Cal to Arkansas for men's basketball. I don't know what the equivalent of that would be for women's basketball. Muffet McGraw out of retirement. I mean, you're talking about someone that took a team to 3 different schools to the Final Four. Talking about
the one that coached at Stanford?
Yeah. No, that was Vanderveer. Muffet McGraw was at Notre Dame.
So they're both retired, huh? I think Caitlin Clark's coach retired too. She might be somebody that probably not, but she would be somebody you'd talk to.
Well, yeah, there is baseball tonight too. 6:00. I see there are like 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts for the game tonight. Didn't they I think they canceled a softball game last week because of the wind. So I've never quite heard of something like that for baseball. I don't think that would happen because I've been around for some minor league games where there's like 50-mile-an-hour gusts in Midland, Texas. And, oh, gosh, it's just like 15-run leads in that little ballpark. We're never going to be safe. Maybe it'll be something like that tonight. Taking on Oral Roberts at 6:00, 5:30 airtime, and get back. We got basketball tonight, too. We got the first 4 tonight. So is this? I know how you put this. This is not the start of the tournament. It's play-in to get into the tournament. Now that we're in the first 4, the tournament actually does begin today. Christian handed us a poll that's got the first 4 on it. Not all of the brackets have first 4. They just sort of put it next to the top seed that they're playing. These are the 2 teams you could play. You'll pick off of that. Did you do 4 more brackets yesterday, Christian? Have you multiplied it up to 16 by now in just 2 days?
No, but
I like doing a lot of them, so I'll probably do a couple more.
We'll have our own halftime one. Absolutely. I just started our halftime one right there. I've done 3 picks so far. I picked Auburn, Creighton, and Michigan.
You got a natty yet? You can pick a national champion yet?
It's going to be hard for me not to have Duke or Florida winning that. I mean, give me a reason why a healthy Duke, or because I don't think anybody.
I think Duke can beat Florida.
That's what I'm saying. If Duke is playing their best, Florida's playing their best. Who in the country can beat them? Can Auburn and Alabama beat either one of those teams? They would have to play their best as well. I think Florida and Duke are the 2 best teams.
But is that where you start with your bracket? Do you start with the champion? Or do you start with the Final Four?
I always go in order. I just go straight down, then bring it back around like that. That's all like I said, I won one time. I got first and third in one bracket contest, and it was the year that Kentucky won it with Anthony Davis. So what was that, 2011? I mean, that would have been years ago.
I'd be nervous putting Duke in as a national. I'm going to do that. That's how I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to start with a national champion, go to a Final Four, and pick it all the way down to the beginning like that. Might take me a little longer than usual because I'll end up confusing myself and want to change up some of those choices. But for Duke, if we were going to start with Duke as a national champion, if we're talking about health,
yeah,
I mean, is that not going to be at the top of the list as in terms of most important storylines for the tournament is the health of Cooper Flagg. Without him, now I understand they still won.
They're not winning it.
Yeah, they can win the ACC, but they're not going to win an NCAA tournament. So that's got to be the first thing you go with.
I think Broom would be the guy at Auburn. Everybody has a couple of those guys. The thing about Florida is who would be their guy. They have 4 guys when they put out there that can shoot it if you leave them open, and they're going to make it. And then they have athletic bigs. That's it. They have the tallest guy in your state. Whenever he gets to your state, he's not eligible till next year, though. He's an 8-footer.
And I've also, I remember that. Was it Oliver? I think Olivier or something. Well, what about Auburn too? I've seen them win games where they're not even playing at their best.
I like Auburn. I like Bama as well. I think they
Alabama's ability to score,
and they made it last year. They know kind of they kind of have the same nucleus as last year's team. I'm a big fan of Grant Nelson. And Mark Sears, he's Sam Hartman. He's Bo Nix. He's Riley Leonard. Mark Sears is a guy that has seen it all, doesn't get too rattled, can make the proper play. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback leading your team, and that's what a point guard is. Your point guard needs to be the smartest person on the floor, and Mark Sears has seen a lot.
Well, the champion's going to come from the SEC this year. There's gonna be a flip.
If you're reading what the script says, because they're all like ESPN propaganda, they're in cahoots with the SEC. That's why there's so many. The SEC's gonna win the national title. Yeah. So if you're reading the Hollywood script, I think so.
It's so tired. I mean, that really
it's ridiculous, right? Like it's made up sports. Like these kids aren't out there trying.
Well, I mean, that belies the fact. There is a fact. SEC teams won almost 90% of their games against other conferences. That is not anything between ESPN and the SEC. Maybe it has something to do with the SEC beating the snot out of the ACC in that challenge that ESPN helped put together. I mean, that's what that's all about. But of course, I mean, nobody says this about baseball because it's very well understood. In the SEC dominates baseball because you have all this track record about it. There's bias in football. There's supposed to be bias in football. Yet the SEC did not get a 4th team in, and the Big Ten did. Not a matter of bias.
This is the only year where the SEC, you can make an argument, is the best conference. I can't think of many years where it's been this obvious. I mean, just like you said, the record against other conferences back that up.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
That's where it starts from. That's the whole point of non-conference play. Because once you get into conference play, it's all everybody. The whole joke was that the SEC's playing 500 ball against itself. Well, of course it is. This was the conversation leading into the new year outside of the college football playoff. It was, do you see that every one of your games is going to be a quad 1 game practically? So, of course, that automatically means just by your schedule, just by how your league played, that you're playing the best teams in the country, and it's going to help your resume as you go throughout. Now, does that have anything to do with when you actually start playing in the tournament? Not necessarily.
Well, there'll probably be a Saint in the Elite Eight. You look at St. Mary's or St. John's.
You got to go with St. Mary's since we're thinking St. Patrick's.
Well, in the last couple years, there's one of what was the Saint school from Chicago? It was the Illinois that made a little run. So you got to at least have one Saint in the Elite Eight. That's for sure.
That's great. So it's like you got to make sure you pick at least one 12 seed, and you got to at least make sure you pick one Saint to go. How far was that
Either
again?
St. John's or I like the Gales. I'm trying to see who they play. They'll play Alabama. You know what?
There's a St. Francis playing tonight, Matt.
Ooh, I'm going to St. Francis for sure.
I think there's two St. Francis. There's one in Pennsylvania.
And there's a
one
Mount
in New
St.
York.
Mary's. Yeah,
we got a lot of Saints to
I
worry
like
about
it.
here.
You know, there's a Saint that's in three of them. 3 wins is a miracle, right?
Could we have a Saint, an all Saint Final Four? How about a Saint versus State championship game?
And just think, the Fighting Irish didn't even make the tournament this year.
Oh gosh, heartbreaking. Here's what we got on halftime for a Tuesday. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. Haven't heard from him yet, but I'm assuming he's in for 1:15. There's some interesting things going on in college football. Did you see Dion says not only does he want to have a spring game, he wants an opponent. And apparently Syracuse is interested.
100% I'd be interested in that.
Who'd have thought the Syracuse, Colorado spring game?
Well, you know, it gives another player a chance to put up some stats and maybe jump in the portal. You're always looking for a way, right?
Do you expect a return trip?
I still can't believe that receiver that was up here at Arkansas played against Texas Tech, who can't guard anybody, plays well, and then bolts to UCLA to play football. Like, why didn't he stay at Arkansas?
Who was that again?
Exactly. Nobody. His name's to be in the record books though. Longest touchdown catch.
Oh, that's who it was. Cal. That Desmond James.
He went to Cal. But I'm saying he's a big receiver. You just saw what one of the guys did you were just around this team all year round. Maybe that's just and then you let him get away. I don't know.
Well, that's the only thing we remember.
But we're
about
bringing
him,
in
too.
7 guys though, so
Exactly
somebody
right.
will hit.
So we'll hit on some of that stuff with Bill. Alyssa Orange as well in about an hour, and a wide open first hour. So if you want to hit up with us, it's open. The Lewis Automotive Group hotline is 877-377-6963. Take some calls, gets a lot more in just a minute. Stay with us. Great to be with you. Halftime, day after St. Patty's.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
If this thing kicks in and we just whoop, 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 whoop.
Hero down the lane on Miller. Kicks it out. Ivisic is open. Top of the circle, and he drains the three-pointer. The third 3 of the night for Zvonimir Ivisic. Richmond on the offensive end. Pick and roll. Big C and a 2-hand flush.
Your home for every Razorback basketball game. ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Love the crowd. Love the support. Thank you all.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Spring is in the air, and Gelco Outdoors has all the gear you need to get outside and enjoy the spring season. Just arrived. Crispy footwear, comfortable boots for hiking, hunting, and work to help you cover some ground.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Le dije, vamos a hacer maldades. Vuelve, yo te traje. Pago el mahones si no baila pa' que sale. Aquí están mis anormales. Tú mueves ese nalga. Esto es pa' las nenas nuevas, pa' los nenes, pa' la
It's back, the Ultimate Challenge at Lewis Automotive, and it's bigger than ever. We're on a mission to sell 555 vehicles in the month of March, no matter what it takes. We've got more than 1,000 vehicles to choose from, more than $2 million in discounts, and we're not holding anything back. All month long, get up to $20,000 off MSRP or 0% financing on select models.
Payments start at $199 a month.
Find the ultimate selection, the ultimate discounts, the ultimate financing, and the ultimate amount for your trade.
Only at the Lewis Automotive Group's Ultimate Challenge.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, let's go right to our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Got a couple of them lined up here. Kevin is up first. Good morning, Kevin. Thanks for calling Halftime. How are you today?
Hey, guys. How is it going? You all ready for got your brackets done, it sounds like, pretty much?
I haven't picked one thing. Matt's in the middle of it now.
I got my two. I'm on to the Sweet 16. I haven't picked anybody in the Sweet 16
Christian's so fired up about the tournament, he's picked next year's bracket already.
Yeah.
And he has Kentucky winning
my
it.
wife. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So tell them to change that. Hey, so seriously, talk about it a little bit. I really believe that don't be surprised if Auburn gets bounced in the before the Sweet 16. You know, they've lost 3 out of 4, and I think teams have figured out how to play them. And it's been kind of, we did it, Tennessee did it in the second half, and you just can't double Janiah Broome. And when they do, the games that he scores 30 or more or 25 or more, if you look, that's when they have struggled in games, even if they've won them or they have lost them, because their shooters get left wide open. And I think teams have kind of figured that out. So that's just something for you to think about. I don't think people should be sleeping on Houston. They're extremely good. I've watched them a lot this year. Typical Samson team with great defense, but they score a lot this year too. So don't sleep on Houston in your Final Four. And that's a very winnable side for them. And,
What
We'll
about
see.
what about St.
I called-
John's? St. John's, I watched them play a couple times this year. They remind me of Houston maybe like 3 years ago. I just don't know if they're ready. Do you think St. John's can make a run?
No. I think I wouldn't be surprised if whoever they play in the second round, whether it's us or Kansas, and we got to be careful. We don't need to sleep on Kansas. There's a reason why they're seated above us. They beat better teams. Dickinson didn't play in that, but the problem with St. John's is they do play extremely hard, play great defense, but they don't shoot that well. In fact, they shoot worse than we do at times. I mean, so, but who knows with Patino? I mean, you don't know. I mean, I want our fans just to be careful with this Kansas game. They just, when you're talking 7-10 and 8-9, I mean, it's a toss-up game.
But here's the thing about this,
I was
Kevin.
surprised a lot.
Kevin, this is a 7 seed that was ranked preseason number 1, and what does that have to do? That's a matter of talent. That's people.
Well, we were ranked like 17,
right?
We had talent.
But to your point, Kevin, it's the idea here is everyone's saying Arkansas is the team you don't want to play. And I see why.
We have some length that other teams. So we give fits with Brazil and Big Z, and now that Nine's playing so well, Jonas. When they play big like that, man, we make it hard for teams to score.
No, I agree. I mean, and of course, I'm a diehard Hawk fan, and I love John and what he's done with this team. It's like he says it's his third team. But we can't have spells, and you can't. The tournament is so unpredictable. We could all predict 4 number 1 seeds and pick Duke in Florida or Duke in, Auburn or Duke and Houston in the Final Four. There may be 1 number 1 seed in the Final Four. We don't know. I mean, the twos are tough. I mean, Michigan State is good. Jace Richardson is for real. He's a top 15 pick. I mean, so the problem the worry I have with our team, as you know, you can't go 10 minutes and not score a field goal.
Well, you really can't do that.
South Carolina.
You can't have 5-minute stretches like that in tournament games and expect to win against that level of competition. Like you're playing teams that know how to win games now. South Carolina didn't know how to win games.
Yeah, well, and I agree with you with Kansas. They were preseason number 1, and I think a lot of that had to do with Dickinson, and they were bringing back KJ Adams and their other guard who's really good. But they just didn't. They're a lot like Arkansas. You don't know what you're going to get. You really don't. They could play really good, or they could lose by 20 to, the bottom feeder of the Big 12, which they did. I mean,
it is a team.
Don't play good against Kansas State.
It is a team. Isn't this a team that can win an ugly game? Like they won a game where they didn't score in a field goal for 10 minutes. There was a Texas game in there that was, pretty ugly too. So I'm with you. My number one concern here, Kevin, is the stretches of just no scoring, and not able to get to the rim and not being able to turn your transition into offense. But I do know it's a team that can defend, and it's a team that maybe can win a game defensively in the tournament.
Because even John finally said it after the South Carolina game, and we had seen it. We saw it in Michigan. I mean, that was the most topsy-turvy game that we've probably ever watched. They were up 17, we're up 24, and then it's a one-possession game. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, it was a crazy game. It was fun to watch if you're watching basketball. I mean, it was great. But Mississippi State, I mean, same deal. I mean, I don't know if they take their foot off the gas and it's an aggressive thing, but in the tournament, I mean, the problem is with basketball these days, if you have a 15-point lead with 12 minutes left, there's no guarantee that you're going to win that game because of the three-point shot and just the way it is. If the team, like with the South Carolina game, they were in the bonus with 12 minutes left. I mean, the clock stopped. I mean, they're calling fouls, and fouls are going to be a big deal. The first 2 rounds are historically closed extremely tight, so we're going to have to be careful. And so will Kansas. The problem I have with Dickinson and his matchup, he can play up top and he can dribble. He can play like a point forward. I mean, he can. He's kind of like the guy at Michigan, the Wolf kid. So, can Jonas, we know that Z needs to get it going offensively. But anybody other than blocking shots that don't feel like that he is a liability on defense down low against bigger bodies. I mean, A&M didn't have a guy over 6'8", and they just bodied him to death.
Well, I think
Maybe we've handled it.
Brazil's rebounding is going to come up huge in this game here too, because I trust Adu in his ability to defend right now. But if I look at something that can be an X factor, something that you don't know if you can count on necessarily, you'd like to. It's energy from Trevin, which usually is that's on both sides of the floor, and where he can really pay dividends is rebounding.
There's not going to be many games that he's not the best athlete on the court. Phil, you're right. If that's the whole thing with him, is just kind of lighting the fire underneath him to getting that effort out of him and getting that energy. Because he will be always. I mean, I haven't seen, and I guess I've seen most 90% of these Razorback games, and when he's on, there's not better athletes than him.
So you got the three big men, right? And right now Z is struggling to score.
He kind of got found out a few weeks ago, and then now I guess it's because he's hurt. But yeah, they run that same pick and pop play for him at the high key that they kind of run it free throw line extended. It's a great play. It just hadn't been. You got to do another action off of it or kind of get some, because now they're hip to it. They're on to it.
It's like you watch Arkansas with the Trevin Brazil playing like he did against Vanderbilt, like that game. That's not a 10 seed.
Well, the thing is, and this is what I've gotten into, and I've tried to say it how I see it, but it's if he matches up with somebody that's tough and physical and has a little bit of athletic ability, he shrinks into his shell. Vanderbilt doesn't have anybody like that. They're all they
Kansas does.
So that's
St.
what I'm
John's
saying.
Does.
And you look at Mississippi State, they really don't have any. Ole Miss, they're Ole Miss big. He's an unorthodox big, which was explosive. Man, he had a fast break dunk and you were just like, I didn't see that happen. So there's ways to go about it, but you're just hoping maybe he can play a little tougher.
Let's talk with Brent. Hey, Brent. He's on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Still trying to remind myself to say that every time. Brent, what's going on?
Oh, Bill and Matt, how are you guys today?
Great, thank you.
2 points.
Brent, you got a little issue. Brent, you got a little issue with you got an issue with your cell phone reception. Maybe move over to a different room. We'll try Greg and then come back to you because we couldn't hear what you were saying. Greg, you'll get this call first here. Greg, what's up?
Hey guys. Hey, I think Arkansas has the potential of going 3 deep. But stick with the safe starting lineup you've been running. If Boogie's ready to go, let him come in, give him some breathers to some of the key guys. Let them have a little breathing spell, then pop them back in. They need to keep the foot down on the gas. That's the biggest problem I've been seeing with Arkansas all season is when they get up there, and especially towards the end of the game, they tend to let off the gas, and they don't know how to play defense slow. Because that's what I've been seeing. The teams coming back and almost beating us is when we do let off that gas. So Arkansas needs to keep that foot on the gas. Maybe some old school Nolan where he kept the foot on the pedal till the clock said 0. Looking forward to baseball this afternoon. So give me your feedback on some of that, and I will see you guys at the ballpark.
All right, thanks, Greg. See, I'm just not sure if it's them taking their foot off the gas or it's tough to keep the foot on the gas with the amount of personnel you've had, right? It's just I can see it's right there in front of you. It's like it's a script written for you. If it's a team that is generally playing guys 35 to 36 minutes, there's going to be a lull, and unfortunately, it has come in the last 10 minutes of a ball game. I don't think it's taking the foot off the pedal. I think it's the pedals just come a little heavy at that point.
Well, it's not from lack of effort. There's when you go 7 minutes and don't score, then that's kind of so you got to find a different way. Do you use your timeouts when you're about 3 minutes into a scoring drought? Do you call a timeout? Can you make a substitution? We can't make a lot of substitutions, but one thing you can do is don't fall in love with the mid range. Not that you don't take your mid range when it's there, But when you have 3, 4, 5 minutes and you haven't scored a field goal, man, you better attack the paint and get to the free throw. I mean, there's ways to, see one go in. Don't just start passing the ball around late in the shot clock, throwing up threes. Once you get 3, 4 minutes, and that's what a guy like Boogie can do. That's like a guy like Wagner. He's a guy that can really attack the paint. And he's kind of developed into where I think he's shooting that floater. It's not necessarily a jump shot. It's kind of like an in-between. But I think he's getting better at that, the last 3, 4 weeks. And I think that was one of our callers talking about Auburn. Losing 3 or 4 going into the tournament kind of gives you reservations. You want a team to be having success and kind of firing on all cylinders right now.
Let's try Brent one more time, and then we'll break. Brent, you got better reception? What's up? And I think that answers the question. He's having trouble with his reception. All right, we'll break here in a moment. Want to thank our friends at Clay Maxey Auto Group. They have a promise providing a level of service, maximizing your drive at every step in your car ownership experience. They have a personalized car buying experience, competitive, transparent pricing, and reliable, consistent repairs from factory-trained technicians. You'll have a seamless, enjoyable, tailored experience to fit your vehicle needs. That's Clay Maxey Auto Group in Harrison, Mountain Home, Clinton, or Berryville, and online at claymaxeyautogroup.com. The Lewis Automotive Group hotline is open at 877-377-6963. More calls in a moment.
This is halftime.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
You're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please visit our Facebook page for more information or call our office at 479-452-2260.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Chicken movie.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Matt continues to put his bracket together through the show here. I think you might get your champion by the time we're into the second hour. Started just as the show began.
I'm on to the Sweet 16. Actually, you know what? I got one side of my Sweet 16 filled out, so I'm about to do the other side. A lot of you get down to it, you're like, okay, I picked this upset, then I guess so. I'll pick this one. This Auburn-Michigan game, Phil, it's got me in a quandary. I don't know who. I'm thinking I might lean Michigan over Auburn going to the Elite Eight.
That's an if. It's going to be an if.
I like Michigan. But then it's like, is Michigan going to make it through,
If Michigan makes it through A&M. If A&M makes it through Yale.
I got Yale beating A&M.
I bet you everybody, if you're going to pick.
I got Yale beating A&M.
If you were to pick one that would be a legitimate upset in the SEC, I bet you most people are picking A&M to lose to Yale.
And I got Drake beating Missouri. Those are I think my two upsets in the first round on that side.
Meanwhile, Christian's over here picking the 2027 college football champion.
It's
amazing. You are way ahead of things.
You got to buy at least 7 lottery tickets. Don't just buy one.
Go to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Aaron is with us out of Springdale. What's up, Aaron? How are you?
I'm doing all right, guys. How are y'all doing today?
Great, thank you.
Good stuff. Hey, Matt, quick thing, man. I wanted to appreciate you and say I enjoyed watching you as a kid and just getting an opportunity to talk to you for a minute. Just wanted to say, hey, thanks for the childhood memories. And so, secondly, when it comes to just up-tempo play that I've seen when Arkansas's played, they're good at getting the lead, getting that 17, 18-point lead, but then they slow down the pace, and I just don't think it is as natural with the team we have to go at that slow pace, and that's when the comeback happens. And that may have been what that caller was saying earlier about just hammering it down and pushing through to the finish, kind of like Nolan did. But
isn't it like a catch-22? Isn't it just like difficult to keep that pace up for that amount of time?
For sure, you got 7 players that you're playing with, and I mean it's just an observation. I mean, it may be impossible with 7 players to have that much energy for 40 minutes. You know, you're subbing out 2 guys whenever you can, every 4-minute increment, and then, you know, your guys get tired. And so maybe Boogie comes in this Thursday, takes them 10 to 15 minutes, helps them have the extra energy to go, run a fast-paced offense. But it's just kind of what you have right now with 7 players and 8 players. Great team. I still have us going to the Sweet 16 in my bracket. Drake beating Missouri, Yale beating A&M, but it's one of those things where I think not having the legs at some point will get to us, and it's what's happened this season when we've had large leads.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I am too, Aaron. It's good to hear from you. Thank you very much. 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. And this is where maybe getting Boogie back for however many minutes he plays can help out some, as long as he's able to keep his legs. If he's getting back to practice, that's one thing. Getting into a game is another. The intensity of playing in the NCAA tournament is a whole other thing. But that's where this can really help. And hopefully when he's playing, it's not just go out there and give us 7 minutes. He'll give you something while he's out there.
I think so. I mean, he's a smart player. Just watching him play earlier in the year, and he's probably learned a couple things, being able to kind of get away from it for a little bit. But what's he been practicing? 10 days or 5 days? If he's got a good 10 days, and so now it's not like practices are just so intense, especially when you got 7, you're trying to make sure you peak at the right time. But if he's practiced for 2 weeks now, he'll be able to give you 3-4 minutes a half, and I think he'll look okay. I think he'll look fine.
But those 3-4 minutes a half end up paying off dividends for anybody that he's coming in for, because I think that is the reason why there have been these second half lulls. I don't think it's a matter of we're taking our foot off the pedal. I think it's a natural reaction to a response to the body just getting a little more tired. And appreciating the thought, Matt, you're absolutely right about this when you say it. They're highly conditioned athletes. They're young. They're able to recover in ways that we don't. But so are the guys playing on the other team. And more often they've got one extra guy than Arkansas does. Now Arkansas gets the one guy back, and who knows if Adu bounces back if you come back later in the month. That's a whole other story. But now it's feeling, well, you know what? I don't know if the pedal is that much heavier now, based on 3 or 4 minutes for DJ to sit or Billy Richmond.
And the question is Kansas as good as Tennessee, or is Kansas as good as Ole Miss? That's kind of my question to you, because which Ole Miss got us twice this year, but I get it. One year, January 8th through it, that weird, it's different teams now, but
just as Arkansas can beat Ole Miss just as well.
I think so too. It came down to the final deal, but is Kansas as good as Tennessee? I don't think this Arkansas team can beat Kansas. Now, if Kansas is closer back to where they're like a Missouri and an Ole Miss, Mississippi State, then yes, the Hogs can beat them. That's my question to you. I don't know how good is Kansas. Do they have enough dudes that you're like, yeah, they're probably as good as Tennessee? But I thought Missouri beat Kansas this year.
They did.
So that kind of gives me a little hope, because if Kansas is on that level, then I think it's a one possession ball game. I think if Kansas is on the level of Tennessee, Alabama, if they're as good as our top 4, then I don't know. It'll be a long night.
Missouri beat Kansas 4 days after Creighton had beaten Kansas, and that was Kansas' first loss. So that's what knocked them out of number 1. They were number 1 up until then. You realize they just fell out of the top 25 for the first time in 80 weeks? For the last week of February, Kansas lost on a road trip to BYU and Utah, back-to-back games.
BYU winning their first round game.
Well, they lost both those games. They got knocked out of the top 25 for the first time since 2021. Not even just being ranked number 1. They were knocked out of the top 25. Now, I was looking at this the other day because you knew it would happen. Switching over to college baseball a brief moment. Texas, who was preseason number 1 college baseball? Texas A&M. A&M just got swept by Alabama, who's no longer in the top 25. 5 weeks into the season, Texas A&M. Not even ranked now, Matt. And that thing is falling apart. Like Kansas made the tournament. They still won more games than they lost in the Big 12. They still got to the big dance. Right now, you're looking at an A&M baseball team that finished runner-up last year, the whole drama with the coaching staff switch, and they have a bunch of injuries. And right now they're looking at there's no way they'll make the NCAA baseball tournament.
Man, that's wild. That's I don't keep up with it as much. The one thing I remember when I thought when the coach left to go to Texas that he'd bring 3, 4, 5. You know, Coach Cal brought 3 former players and 3 incoming guys. You're thinking, well, he'll bring a couple guys with him, and not near one went. That was always fishy since then.
I think maybe one recruit that he had signed to A&M went to Texas.
Yeah,
but I don't think many more other than just the one. And that says something about how players feel about their loyalties, doesn't it?
Hey, how would you not want to be one of Coach Cal's players? Like the way he treats them, that it's first class organization. He expects a lot out of you, but he kind of has that Deion Sanders approach to it. It's like it's he always has your back. He's never going to throw you under the bus.
But I think he also appreciates the thought, and Deion does too, that he's part of the show.
Absolutely,
people are there to watch.
Absolutely,
it's rare that you're there to watch the coach, but I think in very many cases you are.
They stay so much longer as far as these ball players that come through, and especially if they're really good, you only see them for 24 months, and sometimes less than that. And Coach Cal's been here in the SEC now going on 2 decades.
The other aspect too is I think that probably engenders you for people rooting against you.
You keep beating his squad. How many people like the Yankees? Nobody likes the Yankees because they used to win so much. It's like I'm not going for the Yankees.
Well, I think there's also the feeling that the Yankees just have an edge just because they're in New York. But now they're playing poor because the Dodgers are outspending them and everything. The thing with Deion, like that's not because of Colorado. That's not. They don't have any unnatural edge because they're Colorado or playing the Big 12. I think it's the same way people felt about him when he was still playing football and baseball. It's just like, I can't stand how happy that guy looks and how cocky he is. That's why people root against him. And maybe they feel the same way about Cal. I don't know if it's like coming off as cocky, but and I'm with you. It's like, I remember from the outside looking in when he's the Kentucky coach, even when he's the Memphis coach, there's just this feeling of, I'm not going to be able to root for him. Now he's your coach and it's viewed a completely different way. And I think his messaging to the team this year has been masterful, honestly, to get where they are right now. Masterful.
Well, with Deion, you don't play as long as he did and play those sports if you're not dedicated to your craft. So to say that he's not a hard worker, it's just like you can't do that and not want to be a competitor. I like his message. Yeah, the way he goes about it. He's got that. And baseball players are old school, he played football in a time when it was a little more physical, a little more violence, and it's still a violent physical game. Don't get me wrong, but he's seen a lot, and he knows he going about the way people act towards him. And I just didn't think Shedeur was a top 5 quarterback going into it. Nothing to do with his personality or nothing. I just don't think he has a strong enough arm. And now that he's seen it, and then some of it might be. They just want to see how you react, man. There was a coach, Jimmy Haslip, for the Saints. He's like, what are you going to run? And I told him, I was like, man, I've ran a 4.4 since I was a junior in high school. He's like, you don't run a 4.4. And I'm just like, but they want to just see how you react. And I'm just like, okay, whatever you say, coach.
Just take a look at the timing when I'm finished running this thing. Just the way you put it too. You read stories and see interviews about what Deion was like as a baseball teammate. And they loved him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
His teammates universally loved him. It's exactly the same way Cal's players feel about him. Exactly.
100%.
The same way. 877-377-6963 is our number on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. H&S Appliance Outlet in Hot Springs has some great deals right now. You got to listen to this deal for a Forno 4-piece outdoor kitchen gas grill. Get a gas grill with 4 burners, a rotisserie with infrared ceramic burners, and a side grill burner. Gas pizza oven, refrigerator beverage center, and a sink. There's a lot going on there, and it's regularly $6,999, now only $3,999, and $39 will let you take it home today with approved financing. You just need a gas-powered pizza oven. H&S Appliance Outlet has Unicota 12 gas-powered pizza ovens, regularly going for $399. Now it's just $149.99. Maximum 46-bottle stainless steel dual zone cooling, built-in indoor wine cooler, regularly $607.99. Now just $4.99. That's at H&S Appliance Outlet in Hot Springs. They're open 8 till 5, Tuesday through Saturday. Back to wrap up the first hour after this.
Oh, come on, guys. It's so simple. Maybe you need a refresher course. It's all ball bearings nowadays.
This is halftime.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Hey everyone, Braden Webb here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. You may remember me from my days playing baseball for the Hog. Now I'm hitting home runs for AAA Business Systems and enhancing the ways company do business in our area. If you want to partner with the best office technology provider in Northwest Arkansas, call me today at 479-442-4185. Let's win together, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
I'm new in town, but not new to Oklahoma law. Hi, I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. I've been licensed to practice law in Oklahoma for 13 years, so it was time to put down some roots. Smack dab across from the Sequoia County Courthouse in Salisaw. We offer low flat fees and payment plans to fit every budget. So if you need a lawyer, drop by, check us out online, or call us at 918-238-2363. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear?
Forest Grid Incorporated, a company known for paying top wages and benefits, has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. For nearly 90 years, Forest Grid has built the foundations of the River Valley, and now you can become a part of that legacy. Apply now from any device at GoForestGrid.com. That's GoForestGrid.com. Do you finally want to get paid well for your work? Do you want to work for a company that treats you like family? Apply now at GoForestGrid.com. Forest Grid Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Lindbergh team. Tara Lindbergh, Lindbergh Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home, quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at lindberghteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward. Sharp Equipment, your Wacker Newson dealer.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Those
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
So Rich Rodriguez, now West Virginia head football coach, has banned his players from taking part in TikTok dances. No TikTok if you're going to be a Mountaineer football player. And I think that's for spring ball, and that's for the summer, and that's for the season as well. How can you take TikTok dances away from today's college athlete, Matt?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Phil. You can tell your age when Rick Pitino said he was going to have a quarter of Jameson after the championship. Phil, I don't know what a TikTok is. The way I saw it, I thought somebody was doing when I thought it was a misprint of somebody saying tic tac toe. I've never seen a TikTok. I've never done a TikTok. I have no idea.
I still eat Tic Tacs almost every day.
But the kids, I think that's what kids, I'm trying to think during my time, kids would play the Game Boy, I guess. That's how I'm 41 now. I don't have social media, though.
Well, I do know what a quart of Jameson is. I don't know what it'll feel like.
It's more than a pint, I would imagine. But he was saying his age. He's like, I'm going to do a quart of Jameson. You're like, yeah, okay. I see how old you are.
You think you really went through with it?
No, but that's what you say because he's in New York and it's St. Paddy's Day.
Like, he looks like he could only hold inside of himself a quart of Jameson. That's it. Well, it's all the liquid you could hold inside Rick Pitino.
He looked like he should star alongside Johnny Depp in his next vampire movie. That's a hit right there.
877-377-6963 for calls and texts on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. And I just came from a baseball series where you go to school that were with Ole Miss that I don't know if they do like TikTok dances, but they definitely like some dancing when it comes to being in front of the dugout. Kentucky does some of that. I've seen Georgia do some of that stuff too. Do kids really care if they're allowed to do a TikTok dance when you go to a university? Wow. I thought it might have something to do with whether you got a good football coach. Well, Rich Rodriguez says no TikTok, so I think West Virginia football might be just a little dull, only on social media, because he knows how to run an offense. We go into the second hour here in a moment. We'll have our guests lined up shortly, including Alyssa Orange and Bill King confirmed for 1:15. Stay with us. Gorgeous Tuesday. Glad to be with you.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Looking for a way to get your favorite blurs from Pradco at the click of a button? Learner.com not only has brands such as Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more, but the site includes exclusive deals and baits you won't find anywhere else for your favorite brands. We have free shipping for all U.S. orders over $35, so be sure to treat your favorite fishing buddy or yourself to some new tackle box treasures. Check out Learner.com today.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny to mostly sunny skies. It'll be breezy. A high this afternoon, right around 75. Winds out of the south, 25 to 35 miles per hour. We should see a decrease in any cloud cover. Overnight lows upper 50s, and then sunny, breezy, and cooler temperatures in the 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Sportsman. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Can I go so we can get home by 2 o'clock?
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that we respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house. The dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
But they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. Halftime continues here on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing. We'll be talking with Alyssa Orange from used to be Pig Trail, not anymore. That's the old introduction. Forgotten.
We'll have to get that. What's the Seth Rogen movie where he's what was her name? She's like, we do not negotiate with terrorists, but we do negotiate with homies because now she's just our homie.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We'll introduce her as our homie.
What
Alyssa
is that? Somebody will know that. It's kind of like where the guy gets the girl, but the girl's way out of his league movie. I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years ago.
At the All-Americans announced for men's college basketball, Janai Broom, Cooper Flagg are All-Americans. Mark Sears, Purdue's Braden Smith, and Walter Clayton Jr. of Florida are also first-team All-Americans. The second-teamers, J.T. Toppin out of Texas Tech, John Tonje from Mizzou. Actually, he was the one that transferred from Mizzou to Wisconsin. P.J. Haggerty of Memphis, Cam Jones of Marquette, and R.J. Lewis Jr. of St. John's. Hunter Dickinson is a third-teamer. So is Ryan Kalkenbrenner, Zakai Ziegler of Tennessee, Eric Dixon of Villanova, L.J. Cryer of Houston are the third-teamers, and Chaz Lanier, the only SEC player that got an honorable mention.
The thing that you told me in the last break, though, is I got to change my bracket. So I was down to my Elite Eight, and Phil Elson just quietly said,
hold on. This came there was a text from a listener that said that Grant Broom, Nelson
was reals.
is seeing a foot specialist. I looked it up online, and I didn't see any facts about it yet. But, I mean, there is an issue with Grant Nelson with Alabama. You know, it's like you go into the tournament and he's not their best player, but he's one of them. It's
at his position, the way he plays it, he's kind of like an Andre Karolinko, if you remember him at Utah. He does so many, like his body type's like Trevin Brazil, but he just plays around the paint more often. He uses his savviness a little bit different.
Do you remember when Arkansas went into the baseball tournament last year and Brady Taggart and Mason Molina were both just like not pitching well or hurt both ways, and like they went into the tournament down 2 starting pitchers. That's kind of what it feels like. It's different with basketball, obviously, but it's not, going into the tournament is not the time to be losing your guys.
Same with Duke. What am I supposed to do now with Duke and Alabama? Because they're on the same side of the bracket. I got one of those two teams coming out of that side right there, and both of their star players are kind of questionable.
Brent's tried us again on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We've tried a couple times. Might have better cell reception here. Brent, take 3. You're up. How you doing?
I'm great, Phil. How about you and Matt? Can you hear me now?
You are loud and clear. This is the best you've ever sounded, Brent. Thank you.
All right. What I was trying to say last time was when I was trying to get Trevin Brazil needs to get off to a good start for the Razorbacks with a dunk or a 3 or an easy putback, and then he's a totally different player. And I think if he plays well, we're going to beat Kansas. We're going to beat Kansas. I really believe that with all my heart.
I'm with you on that, too.
And I had a question for Matt. With now that Arkansas's already had their pro day, Matt, when you go on your visits to different teams, do you work out for them, or are you just there to meet with the coaches and the trainers and all that good stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question right there. It's they'll come by and you can have individual workouts. A lot of times when you go visit, depending on your position, you'll meet with the offensive coordinator. You might meet with the owner. You might shake the owner's hand, the head coach. You just kind of introduce the trainer, the wait staff. You just kind of make eye contact and shake everybody's hand, and they'll go watch some film, kind of just see where you are at, just where you're starting at when it comes to recognizing defenses and what are your, you're just talking ball, you're just kind of getting a feel for everything. But you'll have, because let's say you go to the Senior Bowl, let's say you go to the Combine, let's say you have five workouts planned out, and then you have 11 visits. I mean, you're seeing some of these people multiple times as well.
How many visits did you take, and how many visits are you allowed to take?
That was about yes. So I did Senior Bowl. I did the Combine. I know I took 5, 6, 7 visits, just going to the Redskins, to the Browns. Just to whoever. Had a lot of conversation with the Denver. He was the tight end coach at the time. That's where I thought I was going. Was Denver? I think they were like 22 or 26 or something.
And I'll let you go. Was Jacksonville even on?
They were the
radar?
first team right after the Combine. They came and worked me out. They brought Carl Smith, who was the old OC at USC, called him Tater. They had their tight end coach, who was a Miami guy. Steve Walters, who's a Springdale. Yep, Alfredo Roberts is his name. We had like 3 different tight end coaches while I was there, but I liked him because he knew a little basketball. Talk a little basketball. But they came and worked me out. The first one, I think I had 5 or 6 teams work me out.
Do they come by themselves, or do the teams come all at once when they work?
When Philly came down, I'm trying to think of who the backup quarterback was. So they brought their OC, and they brought a back. He was like a Jesse Palmer, like he wasn't ever really going to play, but he was just their backup quarterback, and they brought him down to throw to me. So they have their own private. They have their own stuff. It's all first class stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you for that information. I was just curious how all that worked on your visits and things like that. And y'all have a great day.
Brent, great to hear from you. Remember the exact spot you made the phone call from, because this is the best you've ever sounded. I appreciate it very much. Let's try Charlie next. Maybe this is the best Charlie's ever sounded. What's up, Charlie? How are you?
I can tell you, Phil, this will never be if I'm sitting in front of this building right here.
This is the best you've ever sounded, Charlie. What's going on with our phones today? Must be the Lewis Automotive Group. They've obviously turned magic on our phones.
I don't know what they've done, but I will say this. Brent asked a few things that, Phil, I just know this. When I call, there's a few things that I think I'm going to ask. A lot of times I don't get to them. Because I just kind of go in what you guys are talking about.
I think it's called free-form expression, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I'm not good like that if I try to freestyle. I got to kind of write that down and then go do it. But maybe if I've had a few beers, I could throw a freestyle in there. But, not maybe rhyme a little bit, first few lines, but then I'm done. I'm out. But I was going to ask you, too. He brought up TB. And I think he makes a good point. The thing with TB, I think maybe not just making a shot or a dunk, but, some of the rebounds he's grabbed this year, guys, when he's really engaged. I saw one, I don't know if it was this past game. It might have been the game before. He went in there, and I kid you not, one guy had him held by one arm, and he grabbed the ball above he just went up there with one arm and grabbed it, like just plucked it out of the air like he was, catching a one-hand pass in football and then passed it. I think things like that for him, when he does those things early, it does boost his confidence.
But Kit, there's something you just said there, Charlie, that I think is key to it. Early, like you haven't seen. I don't remember many games where Trevin has started slowly and finished fast. It's usually start to finish. Oh my gosh, TB showed up today.
Yeah, it is, and it doesn't have to be making. He may miss a few shots, but it's just maybe blocking a shot, getting a steal, whatever. Because the guy can do multiple things on the court. The only thing he's not going to put the ball down or post you up. Really, that's not his game. But he does a lot of other things that other guys just can't do. I think there's another thing, rebounding outside of your area. He's probably as good as anybody on our team at that, because he just can go to another area that's not real. Matt, that you don't think is real. Matt, I was going to ask you, too, I want to follow up on Brent's question on that. When you do these workouts, because they obviously all know your 40 time, and they all know all that stuff, but you kind of answered it. You were changing position, so you were going from quarterback to receiver. Obviously, I would think, obviously they knew about the straight line speed, but they probably wanted to see how you looked at just, coming in and out of breaks. Was that something that they kind of wanted to see with you? What all routes did you, did they want to just kind of see how you ran all the route tree? Was that kind of along with watching film and things of that nature? And anyways, I'll get off here and listen. Y'all have a good one.
See you, Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. It helped the fact that you do have tape of me playing football in the SEC. You had tape of me playing basketball as well.
And that was not just straight line runs either.
Right. And so they come by, and yes, you run the route tree. And that's, but that's what you're doing. You go, I left December 26th to go train for the combine, instead of going to a bowl game. That was the day after Christmas, and you get to work, and it's just part of it.
Hey, make sure you get over to Crabtree RV Center in Alma if you're thinking about big plans for the summertime, because they still have the Greater River Valley RV Show going on right now that features specialized financing. There are outstanding deals right now on the lot, top-of-the-line parts and service department. The sales staff is ready to help you out. That's Crabtree RV Center. The Greater River Valley RV Show continues at the junction of I-40 and I-49, right beside the Cracker Barrel, and online at crabtreerv.com. Alyssa Orange, our homie, joining us on halftime right after this.
Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, the ultimate challenge is back with the ultimate selection, ultimate savings, ultimate financing, and the ultimate amount for your trade.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Le dije, vamos a hacer maldades. Vuelvo yo te traje. Pago allá el mahones si no baila pa' que sale. Aquí están mis anormales. Que cabrón, tú mueves ese nalga. Esto es pa' la nena, no, pa' los nenes, pa' la
It's back, the Ultimate Challenge at Lewis Automotive, and it's bigger than ever. We're on a mission to sell 555 vehicles in the month of March, no matter what it takes. We've got more than 1,000 vehicles to choose from, more than $2 million in discounts, and we're not holding anything back. All month long, get up to $20,000 off MSRP or 0% financing on select models.
Payments start at $199 a month.
Find the ultimate selection, the ultimate discounts, the ultimate financing, and the ultimate amount for your trade. Only at the Lewis Automotive Group's Ultimate Challenge.
Thanks for
100% financing is available, and Superior Siding has AAA rating with Better Business Bureau. Superior Siding, your first.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Well, I snuck to a window to leave her a note. Will you call me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom. That sweet smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Homie of the moment, Alyssa Orange with us here on Halftime. Always appreciate your time, Alyssa. How's life these days?
Life is good. Life is good. Kicked back. Watched a lot of sports over the weekend. Some baseball, which I texted you about. But it's been good.
Yeah. That was an exciting weekend of baseball against Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Your Dodgers, like the opening day was this morning in Japan. You didn't wake up at 6 to watch that, did you?
I did not wake up at 6 to watch that. Unfortunately, I was very tired this morning and I did not get out of bed. But it has been pretty cool that they've gone over and started stuff overseas the last couple years. And then, I think a lot of people in the state are familiar with Taylor McGregor, and she is a part of, obviously, the Cubs broadcast. And so I've been following her journey over in Japan as she gets ready for this, and she looks like she's having a lot of fun. So I'm sure everybody over there is enjoying it.
Tournament. Do you watch a lot of basketball over the weekend too? Do you watch SEC? Was Florida State playing over the weekend? I didn't keep up.
Oh, yeah, no. No. Their basketball season is over for FSU. In fact, Leonard Hamilton's time as the head coach at FSU is over, and it was bittersweet. They lost their first game of the ACC tournament to Syracuse, and they're not making a postseason, obviously. So that was the end of Leonard Hamilton's very long career at FSU, but they hired Luke Laux, who was in school as a player a little bit when I was at FSU, and he is the new head coach, and so I'm really excited for the new era, but I've got to wait a whole entire year for that to start. No, once Arkansas lost on Thursday, and the way that they lost, oof, man, that was tough. But I kind of stopped watching basketball at that point and gave myself a break.
So we've identified one thing here that is going to be a huge factor in the Kansas game. It's rebounding by Trevin Brazile. I would assume that Jonas Adu is the guy that's going to be guarding Dickinson most of the time. I think Brazile can help out, but his rebounding is one factor that will come up huge in this game. What other aspects of this team do you think they need to be able to not focus on, but need to be a net positive?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing that everyone has probably talked about, and I'm sure you guys have too, is just what the addition of Boogie Flanagan means for this dynamic, and how much things change or adjust because he'll be back on the court for however long he is back on the court. But I just want to see, I think defensively, what this team does. Again, we have seen Trevin Brazile rise to the occasion defensively a little bit more over the last couple of weeks, and you mentioned Jonas Adu, but I'm looking at guys like Billy Richmond, who is so scrappy and he is so aggressive. This is going to be his first NCAA tournament game. There is going to be a lot, I'm sure, that they are going to, as just freshmen, and Carter Knox too, just processing, it's like, the lights are a little bit bigger. So how does a guy like Billy Richmond respond to the environment that he's going to be in Providence? Because I think he can be such a big factor for this team on the defensive end, but you got to make sure you stay out of foul trouble. So I'm really curious to see how the freshmen play.
Alyssa, have you done a bracket yet? And who's your final? We got a bracket contest going on, so we're all kind of doing one. But it's it's they last for one round, then it's like then you roll it up and throw it into the wastebasket. But do you have a Final Four? Do you have a sleeper? Do you have a Cinderella? Who do you kind of go? Who do you like in this tournament?
Okay. Well, I don't. I have not filled out my bracket yet. I was planning on doing that either later today or tomorrow, but I haven't given it much thought. And I'm kind of an old school person too, where I like to print my bracket out and use the highlighter and the Sharpie, right? Like I know we do it all online, and we've got a family bracket challenge that we've done for years and years. But I'm still old school. I like to see that piece of paper.
Alyssa,
in my hand.
I don't even know what a TikTok is. So I'm old school as well. I'm filling mine out right now.
Good. And so and I feel like the highlighter and the Sharpie, just make it a little bit more real. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I don't know exactly who I'm going to have in my Final Four yet. I'll follow back up with you. However, I got asked yesterday if I have an idea of who I think I would like to win. And I'd like to see Tennessee win a national title, and I hope I'm, don't cringe and call. I know.
They have the sixth best odds according to Vegas.
I like Rick Barnes. I would like to see Rick Barnes win a national title. I just really like him as a head coach. If there's maybe a little bit of a Cinderella story, obviously I'm going to go back to my hometown team and VCU winning the A-10, and we'll see if VCU and the havoc over there with the Rams can make a little bit of a run. That'd be fun to watch. I went on my Facebook page, and you have Instagram stories, and I think 70% of the people that I'm friends with from back home were at that championship game when VCU won on Saturday, Saturday. So I've got VCU as my little Cinderella. I'd like to see make a run.
Hey, Liz, I want to switch gears here over to women's basketball, because we really weren't on the air very much last week because of Arkansas's draw in the SEC tournament. Then we had baseball on Friday, so I hadn't really addressed very much about Mike Neighbors' resignation and the ensuing coaching search for women's basketball. I hated to see Mike step away from the program, but I do understand the reasons why that this has happened. And look, women's basketball is still a growing enterprise, and I don't know if we realize how exciting it can be. It's like this is just a really important hire for Arkansas. With the House settlement coming up and everything, and the SEC. Look, I mean, men's basketball right now, women's basketball in the SEC has been there for about 25 years, maybe 30 years. It's a really difficult league to rise up in, and there's I hated Mike leaving, but again, I do understand the reasons why.
Sure. I'm right there with you, Phil, and I want to say first and foremost that I'm always going to be in Mike Neighbors' corner. He wasn't just a coach. I think you can understand this too and relate. He's a friend, and him and JC were great to not just me and Saul and the kids, but to Pig Trail Nation, and really open those doors to their program, or to Mike's program. And, Todd and Amber and Lacey and even Nick, who I only met once because he had just joined the staff. They were great people. They were great to us. And that doesn't take away from, unfortunately, kind of how things ended. But you're right, because I think when you look at the SEC and you see what people or other programs are doing, you have to get this one right, because you're kind of already behind the eight ball. And you've got to figure out how can you bring somebody in knowing that, you're not going to have the NIL budget that South Carolina and LSU and Tennessee have, but how can you recruit in other ways with the budget that you have, and then bringing in people to believe in the program again? Because I would love nothing else for Arkansas women's basketball to be competitive. And we saw that stretch under Mike when they were going to the SEC championship game in Greenville and almost winning a tournament title, but losing to Mississippi State and things like that. It's who can you bring in that is going to be able to excite the fan base again and then recruit really well. And we have seen programs, even like Ole Miss, bringing in Coach Yo. We have watched that development and the growth of that program under her because of the energy that she brought in, right? And you're seeing what Kim Caldwell's doing in her first year at Tennessee, taking over and re-energizing that fan base again that is so rich in women's basketball history. So what do you go do? I, again, don't know much. I have no idea kind of where things are. I know that Grand Canyon's head coach, that name had been thrown out there a little bit. I don't know exactly if there's a lot there, but that was a name that was thrown out. You look at Satia Messer, who's a former Razorback, who was a longtime assistant under Kim Mulkey at Baylor and then at LSU before she took the head coaching job at UCF. Do you go and you talk to her because she is a former Razorback? They just got to make sure, and Hunter has to make sure that who he does bring in is going to help set up this program with a lot of work to do and see if they can kind of shift the narrative a little bit around Arkansas women's basketball.
Alyssa, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you hopping on. It's always good to hear from you, whether it's the middle of a baseball game or not. So keep it coming, okay?
I will. Great always to be with you guys.
You got it. It's Alyssa Orange with us every Tuesday on Halftime. And, it isn't really just a matter. I think the way that women's basketball is viewed at Arkansas, not at Arkansas, but Arkansas to the country, is a little bit the way that football is viewed. That it's a tough job in an incredibly difficult league to win. Now, that's not to say that men's basketball and baseball are not leagues that are incredibly difficult to win, but I do think those programs are viewed differently because of the level of success that they've already had. You look at women's hoops in the SEC, Mississippi State, they didn't do much before Vic Schaefer got there, and he took them to 2 national championship games. Before Dawn Staley got to South Carolina, nobody thought about women's basketball at South Carolina. The right coach can make the big difference. I thought Mike was the right coach, and I think he will be the right coach for somebody else at some point. I hate that he's not the coach at Arkansas. But again, I do understand, there are hard decisions that end up getting made, and a team that was non-competitive, I think that was stuck in the back of people's mind rather than the challenges that the program did face. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We do have a bracket challenge at Hit That Line right now. You can see if you're any better than anybody else on the stations, and apparently there's some folks on various shows that would like to compete amongst themselves. You can sign up at hitthatline.com. It's brought to you by Moix RV, 810 Billiards and Bowling, and Heartland Honda, plus Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley. Stay with Halftime. Much more coming after the break.
This is Halftime.
Get your yard game ready with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Ego has nearly 200,000 5-star reviews from homeowners like you. Ego delivers the power of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Best of all, Ego 56-volt arc lithium batteries are universal, so they fit all 90 tools. Power your yard, power your tailgate, power your life. Learn more at egopowerplus.com.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
This is Halftime.
All right, let's break someone's clavicle on 3. 1, 2, 3. Break someone's clavicle. Hit the field. Let's go. Move it. Move it.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With the never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more. Call or text Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747. That's 479-274-1747. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new Ultra Matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
If I let it start, I think you appreciate. I've been casting spells with no self-control. You better laugh till it was swallowed whole. I know you can feel that I'm not. Heard it from the others, but not from you. You know I love it when everyone's around.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt, you ever been to West Virginia?
No, sir.
It is a very proud state. They love their Mountaineers there. I've always thought that you could draw similarities between Arkansas and West Virginia.
The Appalachia and the Ozark.
The idea that there's one major university playing sports in both places too, no major league sports in either state.
That's true, but there's closer if you live in West Virginia. I think you can get to some of the. You can probably get to Philadelphia. You can probably get to other cities that
Pittsburgh,
are closer.
Close, Baltimore.
Oklahoma. Now, since Oklahoma's what's that? Is that the closest now? Because it used to be Kansas City and Dallas. St. Louis for football, Dallas. But when you're looking at, I guess you got Memphis and Oklahoma City. They're pretty close for NBA squads.
Yeah,
but there's no baseball, no football, no basketball.
Well, maybe the entire state of West Virginia is going to be glued to True TV tonight at 8:10 because their arch rival North Carolina is playing San Diego State now. West Virginia now officially hates North Carolina. And specifically Bubba Cunningham,
the
athletics director.
last team in? Is that what they're doing?
That's right. This is team number 69. We have our official world's smallest violin team. And you want to talk grandstanding. The brand new governor of West Virginia, Patrick Morrisey, had some news to deliver, and we got a little music for him in the background. Hit it.
6 Quad 1 wins. And that was combined with an undefeated record against Quad 3 and Quad 4 opponents. 3 wins against top 10 teams, and the 24th toughest schedule in America. West Virginia deserved to be in the NCAA tournament. This was a miscarriage of justice and robbery at the highest levels. Now, who was the last team to get into the tournament ahead of the Mountaineers? That would be the University of North Carolina. Now, let's see how their resume stacks up. The Tar Heels went 1-12 in Quad 1 games, and even had a Quad 3 loss. And we keep hearing about the importance of these Quad 1 wins, but UNC couldn't even get 6 Quad 1 wins.
I love that the West Virginia University sports information director wrote that entire script for Governor Morrisey. Like, I can appreciate this is somebody that's playing to his constituents. It's not going to win you a single vote. If you didn't get up and say these things, nobody would have paid attention anyway. Not like it makes that much of a difference. It is the dumbest thing to be arguing about. I know I hit on it yesterday with Jay Billis, and he said, we're talking too much about the 30th, 35th best teams in the country. What about number 69 or 68? Who cares? But if we're going to get into the nets, if we're going to get into the quads and all of that, North Carolina had a net ranking that was 15 spots better than West Virginia, 36-51. That's a considerably better net ranking. West Virginia might have just the one Quad 1 win. They won 16 games in Quads 1 through 3, lost 13. All right? West Virginia went 14-13 against Quads 1 through 3. So they had some losses that were exactly the same level as North Carolina's losses, but not like Governor Morrisey really was watching it anyway. So It just always entertains me when the politicians get up and do. When it was Buzz Williams and he was furious, like you can always tell when he's excited because he's going to sweat through his suit. But it's different for me when a coach is doing this. I felt a little odd playing the smallest violin for Buzz. When it's the governor, it should have just been a grasshopper playing its wings behind him.
You know what they say? Their best players hurt, so maybe that hurt them a little bit. And then you got did the NIT rescind their invitation?
No.
So there you go. Go win the NIT, man. That's I don't look at it as a bad thing. I don't think life's not fair. You earn what you get, and it wasn't good enough.
It's a miscarriage of justice, man.
Man, that's really intense.
Of
right
the
there.
highest degree, national corrupt athletic administration.
So go win the NIT then. If you're good enough and you go hang a banner, they'll bring you back every 10 years. You'll be NIT champs, and they'll celebrate you there in Morgantown for you go. Why not?
And the basketball. So I've seen last teams get into the baseball tournament and win the thing. It doesn't. I guess I've seen some first four teams get to the Final Four. I don't think North
Carolina.
Carolina.
If only we had a play-in
team.
game that West Virginia and North Carolina could play in to see if they could get into the tournament. If that was an option.
It's too bad they didn't actually play each other this season. I will say, there still is the visuals and the knowledge of Bubba Cunningham being the selection committee chair. So human beings all have biases no matter what. Even if he gets up and walks out of the room and has no vote in this, is there something in the back of these other people's minds in the committee that they feel like they've got to do him a solid? I don't think it works that way, does it? Just because he's the chair and he gets a $100,000 bonus for the basketball team making the tournament. Do you really think that the administrators in that room are reading the fine print of Bubba Cunningham's contract, or that he's whispering in their ears, "Hey, guess what? I get $100,000 if they get into the tournament. I'll give you $5,000 if you give them a vote or something like that." Come on, it doesn't look good. I appreciate the visuals about this, but I also want to appreciate that those are professionals in there who should take that job seriously. I've talked with people who've been on these committees before. I do think they take it seriously, and I don't believe the conspiracy theories, and I also don't believe that West Virginia belonged in. Nor do I care.
Why have the metric system if you're not going to use it? So your metric, you're telling me that they're 51 and 36. Those are the two. I mean, what's that? That's 15 spots better if you're just going by ranking. So they're ranked 15 spots better. North Carolina is. It doesn't make. I would think the top 30 teams in their metric that they're using, that ranking, I would think that would be kind of a thing you would go to say we're in, if we're in the top 30 of whatever this because the playoff committee has their own metric that they use, and so do they. So I don't know if they should be more transparent with it. So if we could see, and apparently they are. I mean, so if you're 36 in their metric and then West Virginia's 51, I don't know, but 36 seems like a lot better than 51.
Doesn't it, though? And it's the NCAA's own selection tool. I mean, there's other aspects that you go into. You're not just going, 1 through 68 in the net, but it is something you're supposed to use. And if it comes down to this is the 68th team and this is the 69th.
What was there? There was 14 of the 31 teams that were the number one seed in their conference tournament won it. So West Virginia needed a little help. That's, it's, and I think and I get when coaches or people come out to take, some of the pressure off these kids, but you go out there and earn it. You go out there and win a couple more games that they could have won, that they were in, and they would have been in.
That's exactly right. So it's like the idea of Arkansas, if they would have lost to South Carolina in the tournament, if they had lost to Vanderbilt, lost to Mississippi
State,
they
might have flipped us in Texas, but we had so Texas is in, so we could have been a play-in game. But I think the fact that we beat Texas and finished ahead of them in the regular season. Once I saw Texas is in, Arkansas was going to be in.
Absolutely, but if they would have lost the last couple of regular season games, then I think you're leaving it up to the committee, which is what West Virginia did. A loss to BYU, a loss to Texas Tech. I know those are good teams near the end of the season, but Arkansas beat two teams that are in the tournament
Mississippi State, right?
To get into the tournament.
Mississippi State they had a shot there at the end, and then you look at playing Ole Miss in the tournament. you're not putting anything on the free throws. You want to stop ball in transition, but yeah, you'd like to make a free throw, but you're not mad at the homie for missing free throws. You're mad. You're upset because you should know this is something we go over. Stop ball in transition. You don't let a guy just come up and get an uncontested three.
So next year when the tournament expands, because it will, they're not. If we're expanding the football playoff, come on, they're going to expand the basketball tournament just to get more play-in games, because that's what you get here. That's all you get is more play-in games, not teams that will actually compete to win the championship. Teams that will play tonight and tomorrow. You'll have a second four. There'll be a first four and a second four, and that's where West Virginia will play. And then it'll be, I don't know, the governor of Nebraska getting up with the smallest violin behind him because they finished in 14th place in the Big Ten didn't get a bid.
You think San Diego State or North Carolina beat Ole Miss? I mean, so I'm looking at these play-in games. That'll let Texas and Xavier. I don't think either one of them can beat Illinois.
But I also think Texas can win because I think they have the best player of any of the
they
teams
do got the Kemba Walker.
In the first four.
Anytime you got somebody who can just drop 30-something on you, and I guess it's if Tremont Mark shows up a little bit, because both those guys could go for 20+.
Did he have a big donut hole in both games against? I was the first one. I think he might have been shut out in the second game too. Amazing.
It would be one of those. We'll burn that tape. It was. I don't think that when he's doing his highlight tape, when Tremont Mark's about to go overseas, he's gonna make a lot of money for a decade playing ball overseas. But some of this stuff's gonna be on his highlight tape. There won't be any of him in a Texas uniform against Arkansas. I'll tell you that.
Not at all. So who do we get for this first four today? Alabama State, St. Francis. The winner of that game gets Auburn.
No chance.
You get American University and Mount St. Mary's. The winner gets Duke.
Sorry, Mount St. Mary's.
Let's see here. There's San Diego State and North Carolina. Where do I see them here on this? Man, it's
they get Ole Miss.
They get Ole Miss. Okay,
that's the one that I'm saying. That's the one I like the best. So North Carolina actually got a pretty good draw. If you think, I mean, that's a team. And then I got Iowa State coming out right there. That's who they're going to play.
Winner Texas Xavier gets Illinois.
Well, Illinois does have 12 losses, and so you don't know if there were some players hurt for a 4 or 5 game stretch. You'd have to delve into that a little bit. But when I saw Illinois play Arkansas, I got Illinois beating Kentucky. I got Illinois in my Sweet 16 because I like their guards and I like their physicality.
877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Which teams are you looking at here outside the SEC? Matt's kind of focused, at least on the moment, there of teams outside the Southeastern Conference. So when the tournament starts Thursday and Friday, Matt and I are at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith, Rogers Avenue, right at I-540. It's Hot Wing Madness, both days, Thursday and Friday. As long as we're there, you can get as many wings as you want, $3 pints of beer, and $15 beer buckets. They also have a new steakhouse menu at TGI Fridays. It features hand-cut ribeyes, bacon-wrapped fillets, Chop House pork chops, and their surf and turf with steak and shrimp, plus premium sides and a choice of steak toppings like roasted mushrooms and onions, Parmesan or Cajun butter, or their famous whiskey glaze. March Madness this Thursday and Friday, halftime live for Hot Wing Madness at TGA Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Now stay with us. Back to wrap up the second hour of halftime in a moment.
Connor, all I'll say is truck yeah.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Are you ready to stay warm, save money, and be in control of your energy bills this year? Arkansas Oklahoma Gas has you covered. We care about you and your energy needs. That's why we want to share knowledge and tools to weatherproof your wallet and keep your home cozy. Wondering about ways to help save on your natural gas bill? Looking for payment options? Interested in simple DIY measures to help save energy? We've got you. Visit AOGC.com/winner today and discover resources and information designed to help you save, stay warm, and stay informed.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at goforsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at goforsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full day cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, the ultimate challenge is back with the ultimate selection, ultimate savings, ultimate financing, and the ultimate amount for your trade.
See us. The difference between us.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So speaking of miscarriages of justice, there might have been one at the NCAA Indoor Track Championships over the weekend, Matt and Christian, and it did affect Arkansas in the 1,600-meter relay, in which Arkansas was behind Southern Cal by 4 points. If they had a chance to win the national title if they finished 2 places ahead of the Trojans in this relay. Thanks to Christina Long, who wrote this on Whole Hog. So on the first leg of the final heat of this race, the A&M runner, kind of while jockeying for position, runs into Arkansas's runner. He stumbles, drops the baton, and they had to jog the rest of the race. The officials rule that the A&M runner flagrantly impeded the Arkansas runner and disqualified A&M. The Hogs request to run the relay again. They would have run it solo for a chance to win a national title, and they were denied that request by the race officials. And I think this has more to do with the idea that if it was a prelim, as I'm reading this, that they could have rerun it. But a championship round, I guess that doesn't happen. But it does, they had to take a fourth place finish and say, we have to take this. There's nothing we can do about it, and get ready for the outdoor season. That, to me, feels more like a miscarriage of justice than Team 69 being left out of the tournament.
Any team that wins a national title will tell you got to be lucky. Anyone that wins a conference championship, luck has to be on your side a little bit. And yeah, it just that's a bad luck deal right there.
So it feels like a championship with an asterisk next to it too. Oh, by the way,
it's a silver polish.
Oregon State
right?
was lucky. That makes sense.
Jordan Anthony won the 60-meter dash. He's the national champion, Matt.
He might not need to play football anymore. He might need to just concentrate on being an Olympic athlete, if that's what it is.
But after the race, he put on Twitter, "Get me the rock," with a football emoji. So he wants the rock, and the speed is one thing he's touting. Why wouldn't you?
Hey, it sounds like he lacks zero confidence. So I like it. I mean, he's definitely uber talented. I mean, track's not even your main sport, and the reason he didn't play last year because he had the Grant Nelson foot doctor deal. Like he had something wrong with his foot, and you never knew. So it looks like he's healthy.
He had said something about how the first step as a receiver is different from the first step as a track athlete. I just wanted to see if you got about a minute, if you could expound on how you see that difference.
Well, when you're coming out of a stance and it's more elongated, when you're at a receiver, your step's going to be shorter. There's a little hesitation to you. People can get your hands on you. When you're coming out of a stance like you're running a 40 or you're pushing off, yeah, it's totally different.
Do you run track in high school?
Athletes run track, Phil. If you're going to be an athlete and carry the football, we run track in the off season. It would be football, basketball, then baseball and track up to my 9th grade. And then when I got to 10th grade, the baseball coach wouldn't let you run track. Although there's 5-6 track meets, they're like, oh, you can't run. It's like, what? One of these deals where it's like, of course, if the kid wants to go run track, let the kid run track and come help the baseball team. It's not like you're not.
What's wrong with running?
Practicing. So they wouldn't let me play baseball. And so then ran track sophomore year, and then ran track my senior year because I transferred schools my junior year.
Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. 20 minutes from now, our Lewis Automotive Group hotline remains open as we get into the third hour of halftime. 877-377-6963. Be right back after this.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late payment. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79. Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please visit our Facebook page for more information or call our office at 479-452-2260.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauling Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Nudes. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Boix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina 5, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauling Whitaker Parkway, Rogers. Texas!
Benjamin Franklin said, "In this world, nothing is certain except death and taxes." Well, good old Ben, you must have never met your ex, who is certain that she gets to claim your kids as dependents each and every year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. As you prepare your tax returns this year, give us a call about your options regarding child custody, visitation, support, and yes, even tax dependent status. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Do you have a roof problem? Looking for a solution? Paul's Roofing and Construction has your solution to your problem. Paul's Roofing and Construction offers free estimates, and they've been helping folks like you in the River Valley with unwanted roofing issues. Paul's Roofing and Construction, big or small, are here to solve all your roofing needs. Locally owned since 2015. Call 479-414-5753 or go to hallsroofingandconstruction.com. Solving roof problems one roof at a time.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly sunny to mostly sunny skies. It'll be breezy. A high this afternoon, right around 75. Winds out of the south, 25 to 75 miles per hour. We should see a decrease in any cloud cover, overnight lows upper 50s, and then sunny, breezy, and cooler temperatures in the 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one today. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad we showed them at halftime.
What they for one racerback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Well, the start of the NCAA tournament is coming up tonight. I don't know how many of you actually view the first four as really being part of the tournament, or if you view it just as kind of the name that they don't use for it, which would be play-in. 5:40 tonight, True TV. I got a couple of games to watch. We'll do it all over again tomorrow, and then Arkansas and Kansas 6:10 on Thursday. 1 minute after 1 o'clock here in the afternoon, and Steve texted in on our YouTube stream. He thinks I've got a little extra pep in my step today. I feel pretty good. Got a baseball game tonight. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because I'm in studio standing here next to you, Matt. That always gives me a little jolt.
Always good to start off a segment with a lie into it. I got Michigan State, Florida, Duke, and Houston in my final four.
So you did the whole thing. Now you got to pick a champion.
That's who. I don't see how anybody but Duke or Florida's not playing the national title game. So I'm going to go Michigan State versus Houston in the national championship game. And I'm going to take Houston as my national champion. That's who I'm going with.
Okay, so who are these teams again?
Phi Slamma Jamma. Let's go get it.
You got Duke, Houston, Michigan State, and who else?
The Gators
are in Florida. So it's 3 number ones and a 2. Am I right?
I don't know. That's just that's their. I didn't keep the number going on. it's probably, I'm pretty chalky in these things, man. I don't have Louisville making it to the Elite Eight. I like Iowa State to make a little run. I got them actually getting upset by Michigan State. I got Auburn getting beat by Michigan. So I got Michigan versus Michigan State to go to the Final Four. That would be a heck of a game. I got Memphis versus Florida in the Sweet 16. I think that'll be good. I got Texas Tech beating St. John, which Texas Tech, what'd you say? They had a second team All-American? You start looking at me and Christian and I were just talking about this out there. It's like, well, so you look at UNC and you look at Ole Miss. Well, how many NBA guys does Ole Miss have? None. Yeah. It's not like they have NBA talent. I bet UNC has a guy that's going to be playing. So you kind of start looking at it, and they'll have some athletes there, and that could be a freshman. But I got Ole Miss winning that game, but that could be tricky.
North Carolina's going to have a lot to prove. They're going to be. They know what everybody's saying. They don't belong. All that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go on like a little unexpected run, maybe a game or two in the tournament, maybe 3. You kind of saw them do it one year. I mean, they were in as like a 9 or a 10 seed, I think, and
Tennessee made it to
the
Final
Four
playing game not too long. Yeah, about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like they're going to surprise some people. And
but I also heard you say you got St. John's in there, so you got St. John's advance into the Sweet 16. Do you have Arkansas over Kansas?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah.
I think on-ball defense from Nelly Davis is going to come up huge in this game on Thursday. And I've been so impressed with how good he is at not letting the opponent get into their set. And he's, when they're trying to get the point guard the ball between those circles, watch how difficult it's been against Nelly this year.
I've seen him play.
I'm pointing out a couple things. It's Brazil's rebounding. Nelly's on-ball defense will come up huge in this game.
I get it. I want the Hogs to win. I want it to be Coach Cal and Patino for a right to go to the Sweet 16, and I want the Hogs to win that game too, but I'm trying to win a contest. And so I got Houston versus Michigan State in the championship. No, I have the Hogs going one and done.
Mm.
So if that were to happen, how is the season viewed?
Well, you got to look at it in terms of how much money. What's the deal? What's our salary cap? We're top 4 in the SEC in our spending, and
you might be top 4 in the country,
and we finished 9th,
maybe tied
for 9th. I think it's a passing grade for Coach Cal's first year. I think in 5 years you're not going to talk about this team. Like there's nothing. What is there to talk about? This team's a very average basketball.
I think
team.
a win over Kansas would do a lot of good.
Yeah, if you make it to the Sweet 16. Boom! You beat St. John's, then yeah, there's a little Devo magic going. People still talk about it, but I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
Well, the conversations we have during the season are, oh my gosh, they're 0-5. They're not going to win an SEC game. Boogie's out for the season. You think they can beat anybody? Oh, look at this! They actually are playing really well. We actually finished 8-5. We made it to the tournament right now. It's not what anybody's talking about 10 years from now. They're talking about how far you went in the tournament. And it's the same thing with baseball. It's the exact same thing with baseball.
Well, if you win a regular season title, they remember it. You win an SEC tournament title, yes, they remember. They don't remember 9th place, tied for 9th place. They'll talk about your regular season if you do something like what Alabama or what Auburn's done and what Tennessee. If you win an SEC title. But we weren't close to win. You can't start 0-5 and think you're going to win an SEC title.
Kansas is kind of in the same boat. Were they preseason number 1? And
they had some injuries to deal with too this year.
Well, everybody does too. Yeah, everybody does.
I just feel like they've kind of underachieved based on what they were kind of expecting. So, I mean, still a win over a Kansas team in the NCAA tournament with a coach like Bill Self. I mean, that you gotta be able to hang your hat on that. Now, if you don't beat St. John's, I guess that's not too disappointing considering they're one of the hottest teams in the country.
Well,
right
a
now.
lot of times you're looking at a bracket and you're going off of kind of what the seed is. What an upset would be. It's like, well, look, we're playing a Big East champion. They're seeded number 2. A bunch of people haven't picked to go farther than us. A win would be an upset here. A loss, nobody's going to take a loss and be happy with it. But I guess you just view it differently. But doesn't it also feel unfair to judge an entire season based upon a tournament game? Appreciating the idea that this is how it's all set up, that the whole reason for the regular season, if you're a Power 4 team in baseball and basketball, is to get a good seed in the major tournament, not in your league tournament, in the national tournament. But it's like Cal's done a great job with this team this year. So they're to go lose in the first round. Now, you always have to throw the rejoinder in here. He's done a great job with a team that's been beat up, but they were kind of behind the 8 ball in some ways because of the way the team was put together. And I still wonder about Jonas, showing up hurt.
It's a good first year. It's a solid. I'm happy Coach Cal's our coach. That doesn't mean there's not tough love that goes on with it. I like Coach Cal, but let's be realistic with what happened this year. This isn't what you want. This isn't what you're investing all this money into. Now, Ole Miss, they were close. They were a lot closer than what we are as far as if you're going to say how much salary cap they put in their football program.
Football. Okay.
And they were close to top 12. And we weren't even close. We got it totally wrong this year. And if you want to say injury, you want to say people weren't ready, whatever it was, this wasn't it.
Well, and I don't know who was to put it out, but
I like him it's a good first year. He's passing grade.
But there are lessons to learn from
That's
this.
right. Let's build on it. Let's go forward.
Players.
Let's go. Yeah, I saw there was it a power forward from Iowa that was he was like 6'9" junior. Man, that's I like a 6'9" junior that's been through 3 college off seasons.
I know Cal talks about how young the team is compared to everybody else in the SEC, but I just don't know if it's going to get much older. Like, truthfully, you brought in guys that have experience.
Well, Carter Knox comes back, so you look at what Knox and Billy Richmond were doing their senior year in high school, their junior year. Like they're probably being amazing. It's next level up when you go to the SEC. You're not going to do what you did in high school. Like Cooper Flagg is. That's one guy. That's the Anthony Davis could, John Wall, Derrick Rose. Now, Coach Cal's he's picked a couple freshmen that could really get it going, and I think now Knox and Billy Richmond next year, guys. We don't understand how good those guys are going to be next year after a college offseason and come back. Those 2 guys are going to blossom. Those are really 2 good cornerstone pieces to have with whoever you're going to put back around them.
But they'll be second-year players, and it's not to say that they haven't gotten better or more experience.
It'll be night and day next year. Yeah.
You're going to be 3 freshmen coming into the class next year. Well, I guess there's 2 right now. There's Isaiah Seeley and the other young man, I can't remember his name, maybe Nate Ament if they get him, and they're going after. That right there is 5 players who are either freshmen or sophomores. 5. Are you thinking, well, how many more are you going to go get that are on NIL money? Because all 5 of those guys will be. 4 more? They better be veterans. They better be older. They better be. Well, they better be Grizzly.
Yeah. So your Jonas Adu and your Nelly Davis, they are definitely playing better now than they were early in their year. Maybe you're going to have to go get 2 guys just like that, and hopefully you hit a little bit better on them. And Jonas Adu. For whatever he's doing, he's definitely turned it around. And Nelly's defense is first class. He just a different role now that he's on, and you're glad that both those guys came to fruition. You're glad that they didn't hang their head or didn't they got better, they stuck with it. And to your point, Phil, that just tells you a little bit about Coach Cal. I mean, a player's coach. They kept believing the message, what he's preaching. They keep believing it, and you could see the results.
I'm going to get over to Joe's Grilling Cantina before tip-off. They'll have a great specials going on, including great memories from Cuco's, the beloved restaurant that used to be where Joe's is located as well. And it's Throwback Thursday, plus there'll be half-price apps and half-price taps during Arkansas and Kansas. At Joe's Grilling Cantina, they got TVs all around the restaurant. You won't miss a single play. Food and memories and fun at 3400 South 74th across from Harps and Fort Smith. joesfortsmith.com if you want to put a menu order in. We talk with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in just a moment on Halftime.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
From Memphis, Tennessee, number 10, Todd Day.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got puppies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Le dije, vamos a hacer maldades. Vuelvo yo te traje. Pago allá el mahones si no baila pa' que sale. De mi aquí están mis anormales. Que cabrón, tú mueves ese nalga. Esto es para las nenas nuevas, para los nenes, para la
It's back, the Ultimate Challenge at Lewis Automotive, and it's bigger than ever. We're on a mission to sell 555 vehicles in the month of March, no matter what it takes. We've got more than 1,000 vehicles to choose from, more than $2 million in discounts, and we're not holding anything back. All month long, get up to $20,000 off MSRP or 0% financing on select models. Payments start at $199 a month. Find the ultimate selection, the ultimate discounts, the ultimate financing, and the ultimate amount for your trade. Only at the Lewis Automotive Group's Ultimate Challenge.
Thanks for watching.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Hey little sinner, I hope your God is dead. American money, the best ass in Hollywood. Our routine is old, but sometimes old can be good. And you fucked it up just like I knew you always would. They say it's all in my head. Time to pay the rest of it.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Headed to our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, joining us here on a Tuesday. The king of college football talk and the prince of college baseball talk, as I like to call him sometimes. Hosts 6 to 9 WNSR. Bill, good afternoon. How are you?
Got about 5 years of baseball, so I'm not historic, but I love it.
How about A&M, though? I was looking back. So Arkansas plays Kansas in the NCAA tournament first round. Kansas was preseason number 1. They're out of the top 25. But it took them until the last week of February to fall out. A&M's out of the top 25 5 weeks into the season, and things are falling apart there, man.
Don't ask Coach Cal about the Memphis-Kansas game where he gave up like a 9-point lead inside of a minute to lose the championship. Don't ask him that.
Be sure.
That was the year that they had, Derrick Rose. They just couldn't make a free throw. That was like it's like the Atlanta Falcons playing the Patriots for the Super Bowl. Just run the ball, make a free throw, and you win it.
Yep.
He got himself back though a few years later. Just with
he did.
Just with a different school. Just with a.
That was Anthony Davis, his team, and they were dominant. Yep.
Hey, before I want to ask you where you think Jackson Dart ranked last year in terms of just SEC college quarterbacks, because I'm seeing he might be the Bo Nix of the group, making the jump where there's a lot of talk where he's going to be a top 10 guy. I never saw that from Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. What are your thoughts on how he was? Was he even a top 2, top 3 college quarterback last year?
Oh, I don't know that we would have him in the top 2 or top 3, but I tell you what Lane Kiffin quarterbacks do typically now, and Matt Corral did the same thing, is they start at a certain level, meaning when they first get to play, and they do ascend the entire time. You know, that's not necessarily the case. That assumption is ill-informed. You may or may not get that. DJU, the best game I ever saw him play was true freshman against Notre Dame. He never played that way again 4 years later. But they always improve. And they're not necessarily super skilled, but I think he'll be a solid quarterback. I don't know if I'd have him leading a team. I don't know if he's that kind of player, but I think he's absolutely a number 2 with the ability to play as a number 1 with an injury.
I was just at Ole Miss for baseball this last weekend, and Austin Simmons, I think, was on the baseball team, but had an arm injury. He's not a baseball player anymore. He's just going to be a quarterback. But they're really, really high on Simmons. And I thought Corral was great. I thought Jackson Dart was a terrific college quarterback. Some of them are talking Simmons could be even better.
Yeah, and he's a lefty. And I'm not comparing DJU at all. This is going to sound horrible. I think this kid could be outstanding. But we did see him against Georgia when they beat Georgia, when Dart had to lead the game for a series or so, and he looked fantastic. Now, our lesson is be careful. Being the full-time starter and trotting out there, that's different than coming in. But he did play quite well. Matter of fact, if I remember that game correctly, they weren't really doing much at that moment offensively, and he came in and ignited them. Simmons did.
Hey, I'd read something about Dan Mullen has the job now at UNLV, but I was reading where was it the athletics director had to tell the chancellor we might not have enough money to pay him after 2 years, and they've signed him to a 5-year contract. So it's just this comes off very, very weird.
I talked to some folks out there about that, and it is weird. Here's the gamble, here's the bet. He's going to win, he's going to do well, and the Vegas community will pitch in, whether it's Fertitta family, whoever it might be. There's so much money out there. They think they're going to get saved there, and they might. But it's a gamble that they've taken here on his success level.
That sounds like the plan is hope. I'm always told hope is not a plan.
That's right. I know. It's risky, and Dan Mullen is a good coach. He's a very good, particularly offensive coach. He's an outstanding quarterback guy. He's a really good quarterback, not only developer, but he can locate them, and sometimes they're not the most highly recruited, and he makes good decisions on them, but he's not the most aggressive out there procuring talent, and that's a worry.
Hey, I just saw where Belichick there in UNC, he's all over the news, and rightfully so, but he just flipped a kid from A&M to North Carolina that's a D tackle. What are kind of – Deion got to Colorado a couple years ago, and it kind of has a little bit of that feel, but what do you think, Bill, are real expectations, and then what's kind of the ceiling for Bill Belichick at North Carolina?
Year one, I think 7-5, something like that would be good. And here's what I don't know. I don't think any of us know. He cannot coach the way he did in the NFL, where you're struggling in practice. Let's say it's the quarterback in August in Chapel Hill practice, and he's losing his patience with him, and he tells him that there's probably a better high school quarterback at Chapel Hill High than what you are. I don't know that you can iron fist it like that, particularly starting off there. And it'll be interesting to see what his demeanor is. He's obviously one of the best ever. We all know that. But on that level, I'm not sure how that's going to work out.
We might have gotten into this either last week or the week before, but it's like one of the major differences as a head coach between the NFL and college is that no NFL team has like 16 or 17 other programs that they're running at the same time, which aren't your sport.
Right.
So you're going to North Carolina. I mean, that's a basketball school, but you're not going to bring in a 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach and handcuff him. I know they've given a lot of money as far as that's concerned for NIL, but do you feel like there may be conflict between basketball and football at North Carolina, or is this just smooth?
Basketball's not very good right now. Belichick doesn't really have to, as you mentioned, deal with anybody. And now you have an AD. Now I think the AD, Bubba Cunningham knows what he's getting into here. But I don't think he's going to be one communicating with other sports. I doubt that. And he's hired a GM for about $1 million. They feel good about that. But this whole experiment is interesting. And I'm sure he's talked to Nick. He and Nick are very close. They're somewhat similar. And I'm sure they've spent a lot of hours talking about this.
Arkansas hired a general manager, Bill, but it's a general manager for the entire athletics department. And then I think they're bringing in other general managers for each sport. So, I mean, I think that's an interesting way to build your structure, where it feels like there'll be individual, you could say administrators, I guess, if you want to call them that, reporting to a GM. And I mean, this is partially what the House settlement's about. Percentage of revenue going to whatever team you're going to be paying. And I think they're looking at it from a larger over the top perspective instead of just the one team, which everybody focuses on, which is football.
I haven't even thought about that. That's interesting. So an overall all-encompassing GM and then individual sport-specific GMs under him.
That's what it comes across as. Just kind of like a level of diffusion between the two. And for Sam, I mean, it makes perfect sense. For any of the coaches, it makes great sense. Now you're not doing your negotiating. You get somebody else that can handle that, and you can also point to somebody that says, this is someone that holds the purse strings. This is the person that's telling me how much I've got to spend, and I don't have what you're demanding here.
That is an interesting angle. I don't think I'd seen that news.
Well, they made the announcement about 7 days ago. His name's Remy Cofield, and he'd been the director of scouting for the Celtics. So it's an interesting hire, very interesting hire.
Bill, earlier today, getting back to a little college football with West Virginia, Phil had asked me about TikToking and about Rich Rod with banning TikTok. What are your, is that a way to be just where he gets to make the rules? What are your thoughts on how Rich Rod's going about it, his second stint there at West Virginia?
Rich Rod is a non-negotiating dictator, and I say that not in a mean way. Rich Rod was on my channel on SiriusXM, and I've known him, but and he's a heck of a guy. But in football time, he's not anybody's buddy, and he doesn't care what anybody thinks, and he thinks TikTok is soft and demeaning, and he's not going to put up with it. So when I saw that story, I didn't read deeply into it, but I believe him when he lays down that gauntlet. Maybe if they win something and he can get it back to the Pat White, Stevie Slayton, Owen Schmidt days, maybe he'll relinquish that a little bit. But no. Rich Rod is not interested in other opinions.
Matt, have you seen about Carson Beck's first few weeks in Miami?
Didn't he break up with his old lady because of social media or something?
I read that he got caught cheating.
Oh.
He had his Lambo stolen. All the perfect ingredients for a great season, right, Bill?
I heard Cam Ward was the one that hired the PI.
I tell you, guys, they take a trip to Nashville, and then everything blows up. And I don't know what happened. But they broke up. But there was a story out, and again, I used this on my show because it's the non-playing portion, and I termed it reckless, and I don't know if it's accurate. But there's a story out that says the staff, Mario Cristobal, got wind a couple of months ago that she was going to break up with him, sent Hannah Cavender, the ex, money to hold off until they got him secured.
Wow.
That's like your boy paying UNC guy $5,000 to make them in the tournament, huh? It's just changing hands all over the place.
So again, I laid it out. I labeled it as judge me, but we had fun with it, regardless of whether it's guys. As crazy as this thing's going, I would not doubt that.
That's wild. So how does that conversation go? All right, Haley, how much you love the University of Miami? How much money have you made here because you had the platform here? Come on, how much you love it?
Why don't you just go pay some other girl to be his friend instead of? I mean, if you're going to pay somebody to break up with them,
there's always a Halle Berry in the program.
You know, it's
right?
like there's somebody there. You think there's not beautiful women down there? And
well, she's got a twin sister. They're exactly the same. So why not? I don't know.
Bill, we'll leave it there. Enjoy the tournament and the baseball and all of that, and we'll get back to some more non-playing portion next week, okay?
Yeah, sorry that the conversation deteriorated there, guys.
Not at all.
We'll see you next time.
I was kind of thinking it might. It's okay. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, every Tuesday on Halftime. It's a very good point you make, too,
It's
man.
next level stuff, though, right there, man. God. Stay with them for 37 more days, and you can put up with them, right, for 28 more. Will this help?
Got a contract. Look, there's a contract. You can break up with him on February 26th and not a day before. Otherwise, you're not getting your money. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Oh, what do I want? I want an Andy's Turtle Split. Pretty simple. Whole banana with frozen custard covered with hot fudge, cream caramel, roasted pecans, and topped with a cherry. That sounds so good. It's at Andy's Frozen Custards locations all across our listening audience. They're in Conway. They're in North Little Rock. They're in Fort Smith. They got the greatest frozen treats around. Pick 6 for game time on Thursday. Heck, pick 6 for baseball game time tonight. Arkansas Oral Roberts is mixing and matching 6 of your favorite flavors. Perfect game time treat at Andy's Frozen Custard. Walk up or drive through, ready to serve you. It's the home stretch. Back in a moment.
If you see a possum, try to kill it. It's not a pet.
This is Halftime.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Spring is in the air, and Gelco Outdoors has all the gear you need to get outside and enjoy the spring season. Just arrived. Crispy footwear, comfortable boots for hiking, hunting, and work to help you cover some ground. spring clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Under Armour, and more. Just arrived hunting gear for spring turkey season. Shotguns, ammo, clothing, and footwear. And the largest selection of turkey calls around. Think spring. Think Jelco Outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hunting for a fortune? X marks the cash. 5 new lottery scratchers are loaded with prizes and waiting to be discovered. Multiply your prize 10, 50, up to 200 times. Ticket prices range from $1 to $20. Top prices start at $5,000 and go all the way to $500,000. Find the X and find the cash. Available now at lottery retailers. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Got past in pocket. Got paddle. I'm gonna use it. Intention. Gonna make you notice. Got motion, sweet emotion. Been diving, detour leaning. No reason, seems so pretty. Gonna make you notice.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I don't remember what I was going to talk about here. I got lost in Chrissy Hines' voice, Matt. Thank you very much for doing that. Sexiest voice possible for a rock and roll artist. Susan Tedeschi belongs there, Bonnie Raitt maybe, but I'd put Chrissy Hines up against both of them.
Annie Clark.
What was it I wanted to bring up? There's a baseball game today, 6 o'clock. Oral Roberts, not Orel Roberts. I still think of Orel, for Hershiser, obvious reasons. 2 games against ORU. This is a team that's played a lot of tight ball games, so we'll see if Arkansas continues to do what they did in the midweek previously, which is run rule the opponent, ULM. And I really think having Nate Thompson in the dugout has been a net positive for the offense. This is a hitting coach, and when you're the third base coach, you just can't communicate with your hitters very much at all. I mean, when they're in the dugout, you're at the third base coach's box. When you're in the dugout, they're in the field. You don't talk with them very much. Might be in passing, might be in the occasional offensive meeting. But there were some moments in the weekend series with Ole Miss where you can see Nate is talking with the batter before he comes up to hit. He did it twice with Vahiva Aloy, happened to be just before Aloy hit those 2 home runs. Nate doesn't deserve the credit. Vahiva does. But these conversations mean something. And Matt, I think this has a little connection to the conversation of where you want your offensive coordinator to be located during a football game. I can appreciate the idea of getting a good bird's eye view, but as you've pointed out, you want to communicate with your coordinator face to face, be able to speak to him, look in his eyes. I think that's paid dividends in the first 5 weeks for the baseball team.
Well, confidence helps, being able to talk right there with your coach. I mean, that's what the coaches get paid to do. Psychology's part of it. And you're right. You got to have talent. And obviously Aloy has talent. Yeah, it's similar to that. If your quarterback coach is up there, then your offensive coordinator might be down on the field. If the offensive coordinator's up top, whoever else is in charge of the offense, if it's your quarterback coach, receivers coach, there's somebody down there to convey a message to and look each other in the eyes. And then you can also go get in that headset. But there's something to be said about just being right there with your guy that's that one position that's going on. There's still going to be communication, obviously. But, yeah, I think you're onto something.
I think that Dave and Nate are able to bounce things off each other in terms of decision-making, what sign to put on, just some of the simple things about running an offense in baseball that you'd want to have your associate head coach. And I don't ever use this term for baseball, but I see some teams use it, and maybe it's a legitimate role, offensive coordinator for baseball, which is not a thing. But I think in this case, the head coach is bouncing ideas off his offensive coordinator, and I do think it has paid some dividends. Now, that's also to say that they're better hitters.
There you go.
They're better hitters on the team this year. Vahiva being one of them. This year's Vahiva Aloy is better than last year's Vahiva Aloy. He's laying off pitches that he would swing and miss at last year, even when I think he knew they were coming. And so that, what that also does, like Vahiva I think he's a really high, he's a very high concept sort of hitter with that kind of ability. The conversations that they're all having, Maxwell is that kind of hitter. I think Brent Iredale is that kind of hitter. Cahillo appears to be like that. Davalon too. They're dynamic hitters and they're smart. These two things work in tandem. It might not have been the same with Nate in the dugout with last year's group. It just wasn't a great group of hitters. This year I feel differently about them, and I do think having Nate in there helps. 877-377-6963. Justin's giving us a call on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Justin, thanks for calling. What's up?
Oh, not much, guys. Trying not to blow away out here.
Yeah, so I hear.
Wind.
Yeah, like 40-mile-an-hour gusts today, right?
Yeah. I don't think it's died down below 20 all day. Earlier, you guys were talking about women's sports with neighbors, resigning or whatever, and then you were talking about baseball, and my brain went to women's softball. And Phil, you might be able to help me out with this. Oklahoma is the women's college baseball team. They, if they don't win it, I would take Oklahoma versus the rest of the country every year.
4 in a row,
if
right?
I had to put money on
4
it.
natties in a row, right?
I lose track. I don't know. But my question was, why do they have it in Oklahoma City every single year? Because I believe that some of our late women's Razorbacks would have a good chance of winning a national title if it was in Fayetteville every single year. So I just don't understand how it's fair, because the national, the football game, it's on a neutral site. The baseball's in Omaha, which pretty much is a neutral site. How is it fair to the rest of the girls in the country to have to go to Oklahoma every single year?
The only way I can answer that, Justin, is that I view they'd have to view it the same way that I think the NCAA and the city of Omaha have their relationship, which is that the city wants it and builds a stadium to house it and views it as one of the major events in that city for the entire year. That's That's why Omaha built TD Ameritrade Stadium. If they stayed with the old Rosenblatt, the NCAA probably would have moved the tournament. They would have moved the College World Series somewhere else. So I think, remember, I don't know how many big softball stadiums there are that can house that kind of crowd. That's why the Olympics are doing softball in Oklahoma City, because they don't have a stadium that big.
That's kind of what
in
I
Los
was,
Angeles.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. So, all right, well, guys, I admire you guys so much. Matt, you're my favorite Southside Rebel and my favorite Arkansas Razorback, up there with D-Mac. And Phil, you're the best announcer for college baseball, I think, in the country. So, all right, guys.
Justin,
have a good one. I appreciate it.
Appreciate the phone call and your sentiments very much. Thank you. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Oh, look, and the Robert texts in, National Softball Hall of Fame is located in Oklahoma City. So, I mean, it's a city that has taken the mantle as the center of the universe for college softball, not just for college softball, I think for softball overall. You don't view Omaha the same way for baseball, but you certainly do for college baseball. And I know that there's been movement, but it won't ever actually happen to treat the Rose Bowl the same way. I actually could get behind that a little bit. The Rose Bowl has one permanent team, right? That's where UCLA plays. No NFL team. To me, it could make sense. You could house a national championship in the Rose Bowl every single year. It would probably be a neutral site.
Not until they renovate it. There's
that.
You got Jerry's World. You got Las Vegas that just opened. I mean, there's just too many other places around. I dig it too. I could get it being in one spot.
But you're right though. It still needs a renovation. I was there a couple years ago, and I did the show in the press box there.
They haven't changed it much.
It does feel old. Yeah. I mean, it's
It's cute. It's really cool. But it's just I don't think this new wave of NIL and you guys. There's too many other options as well.
So, but you think of like college football.
But they should be in the rotation. They should be, if it's one every 4 years, like if you're going to go to Vegas or to LA, to Atlanta, to Dallas, wherever you want to go. But yes, I would have them in the mix for the rotation.
Still think you could do the Final Four in Madison Square Garden, but of course we've got to do it in a football stadium. Leo in Fayetteville is on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Hello, Leo. What's up?
Good afternoon. Like many people last week, some of us were shocked by Coach Neighbors stepping down. And I just happened to be at the mall Supercenter here in Fayetteville last Wednesday, and I'm about to leave, and I look up and I thought, that guy looks familiar. And he was talking to his young daughter who was in the shopping cart, and I went, oh my goodness, that's Mike Neighbors. And I just stopped, and I had this expression on my face that was sadness and concern. And any other person, coach, probably just would have walked on and not said a word. Coach Neighbors stopped, and he looked at me, and he said, we're going to be fine. It's okay. We'll be okay. And he went on his way. That right there told me that Coach Neighbors is a kind and caring man, and anybody would be lucky to have him as their coach.
Leo, thank you for that story.
I think Coach Neighbors gets it. It just, when you say certain dudes are ball players and just certain human beings are just, they get it. I think Coach Neighbors, I think he gets it.
Well, I also know that he doesn't view his worth through what he does as a coach. It's how he treats people. And I've experienced that firsthand, not just personally to me, but I've seen how he treats just about everybody else that I've been around, that he's come into contact with. There is no other person in the world that I could think is more first class than Mike Neighbors. Coaching is a tough job, especially today. And I think especially the last year at Arkansas. He's and you're right, Leo, and I wouldn't have thought for a moment that that things would go south just because he's no longer the head coach at Arkansas for him personally. He's got a lot going on. He's amazingly intelligent. He's very funny. And I think he's going to find success as a coach somewhere else. And again, thank you very much for that story, Leo. It's a little difficult to talk about for me. You know, I mean, I've been around Mike for 8 years. I love working with him as a coach. I love working with him as a friend. And through all the years that I've been working in baseball and basketball, I don't think I've ever been closer to a person as the coach as Mike Neighbors. I've tried to stay as unbiased about this as I possibly can. I'm a human being too. I hated that he left. I do understand why it happened. But it's hard on me as well because he treated me. Not everybody treats broadcasters great. He does. He treats everybody great. We're going to break in a moment. We'll wrap halftime up. Stay with us.
This is halftime.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please visit our Facebook page for more information or call our office at 479-452-2260.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals are just people. They've got their lives and families same as you and me. But what happens when big hospitals and insurance companies ask too much of them and make them work too many hours without enough help? You can only stretch something so far before it breaks and people get hurt or even die. That's where I come in. If the healthcare system in our area has hurt you or someone you love, call me. Together, let's make them do healthcare better. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Every Wednesday night, take the kids to Joe's Grill and Cantina. They will get a delicious meal for $5. And Joe's is bringing out the crayons for a coloring contest where the kids can win cool prizes. And the fun is just starting. It's Kids Karaoke Night. Let that star shine. Join Joe's every Wednesday for Kids Night with the fun atmosphere of Joe's. Come for the food, stay for the fun. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward. Sharp Equipment, your Wacker Newson dealer.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. What makes you unique from other stores in the area?
I try to build a great relationship with all of my customers. I can do just anything from cars to food trucks to signs, banners. I do a lot of custom this and that. I'll say 100% of anybody come in here, they leave out happy. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
baby by the hand. I make you do a handstand. Take your baby by the heel. Do the next thing that you feel. We were so in advance. In a dance hall dance. We were cool on grass. When I knew and everyone we knew with the lean to share what was true. I said.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Bet Saracen's got Arkansas plus 50,000 to win the national championship. Duke is the odds-on favorite on Bet Saracen plus 275. As far as Arkansas's game against Kansas is concerned, I saw the, what do we got? Arkansas is a 4.5-point underdog against Kansas. All the odds for the first four, for every other game played in the NCAA tournament, NIT, NBA, Major League Baseball. They still have another regular season game starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's all on Bet Saracen. Make sure that you're within the state of Arkansas to use it. Download it for your iPhone from the App Store. Android, Google Play is where you download it from. Our caller previously, Matt, misidentified your team nickname. It was not the North Side. What did he call them? The North Side Rebels?
It's okay. I think all these teams are changing names every other year, it seems like. So it's all good. I think the Commanders might go back to the Redskins.
I saw something about that. I think they did. I think they've been kind of dropping the feather logo into some of their merchandise here and again. Can't do that in NCAA though. Remember they kind of did away with all of the
Fighting Illini. They had
that's still
best. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the best. That headdress, that Indian right there. Florida State used to have it. You could ride the horse out there, and
I think they still do it.
And they don't light the arrow on fire anymore. But yeah, they used to.
All right, are we watching first? Did you pick your national champion? Matt's been through the whole bracket.
I gave it to C Bracket. He's got the official
C Bracket. I'm gonna have to email one to you either tonight or tomorrow morning because I guess I got to get this in by Thursday. I told you I was going to sit next to you at TGI Fridays on Thursday, 5:40 here in Fort Smith, and just do my picks right then and there. But I don't know if I'll have enough time to get it in. Like that, we'd have 15 minutes. It would be no thoughts whatsoever, which probably is the right way to pick this thing. Who do you have as a national champion, C Bracket?
I got Michigan State.
What about Matt? You had Duke and Auburn, right?
Kelvin Sampson.
He's got.
That's right, Houston. That's who it was. That's who you picked. All right. Well, nothing. Nobody's going to have anything to do about that over the next 4 games. So don't worry too much. I won't watch first 4 because I got a baseball game with Arkansas and Oral Roberts to worry about first and foremost. Tomorrow is Clay Henry for a couple of hours starting at 12 noon and Grant Hall. I think I got to get out a little early tomorrow because of a 3 o'clock baseball game. And make sure you download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Has all the highlights from the show today, including Alyssa Orange and Bill King. And we did nearly drag Bill down into the gutters with us for a moment. Thanks to Eastside Liquor for sponsoring our Halftime Podcast for a few years now. 9390 Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith, 479-452-7311. Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, have a great rest of your days. And for everybody else, I'll be talking to you at 5:30 for baseball. That's halftime. Now get up, get out, and get better.